Hey there, guys. So today's question, how do I train my dog to ride in their cockpit? The first thing you do is download our 12 easy steps to train your canine rider. You can get that at goruffly.com. Just put in your email and it'll get sent right over to you. Now, we go through it step by step about kind of approaching, leaping up, turning around, and at each step, you want to have a lot of positive reinforcement. Now, if your dog is all about food, like our Whimsy, who is totally stomach driven, then high value food treats is the way to go. If your dog is more about play or some other type of reinforcement, then have that handy and use that throughout the process so that they associate this with the positivity of that reward. Now, another thing you want to think about is all about yourself, actually. This is all about you. Make sure that you are comfortable and confident with the cockpit on your bike, with that new load distribution. You've adjusted your rear shock. You've done some practice rides with the cockpit on and then with the cockpit loaded down, because your dog is going to be looking to you. And if this is the first time that you're riding with any kind of passenger, if this is the first time that you're riding with any load, you're going to be dealing with your own issues and uncertainties. Not that the cockpit's going to be difficult to ride with, but you're experiencing something new and uncertain at the same time as your dog. Your dog is looking to you for reinforcement, for reassurance, and you need to be fully confident in this setup so that you can be projecting that to your dog. It's not a deal breaker, but it's certainly going to make this process more difficult than it needs to be if your dog's looking to you and you're not projecting that positivity. So most riders, and certainly this has been our case now with two different dogs, you're going to find that within a day or a weekend, you're going to have your dog riding with you. Now, it may take a little bit longer, but the key is those positive reinforcements. The big leap comes when it's time to turn that engine on and get moving, okay? And that's when the dog may be getting a little bit uncertain, right? And so be prepared that when that moment comes to turn the engine on and to get moving, that may be the moment to just get going. Because as soon as you get riding, now the dog is experiencing sight, sound, smells. If they've been in the car, if they've stuck their head out the window, this is something they understand. And there's a lot of stimulus and a lot of positive stimulus that's going to take their attention. So there's a lot about the initial part that is pretty straightforward. There's no noise, there's no rumbling, there's no uncertainty about leaping up and laying down. When that moment comes to turn the engine on and get going, it may well be your moment to get going, like I said, and be ready to do that so that you're outfitted, you're ready to ride, and you guys can get going. We certainly experienced this with Whimsy, who was doing phenomenally through the whole process. She's very easily reinforced with positive treats and with kind words. And when we turned that engine on, she got a little bit shaky. She got a little bit uncertain. Jess kicked it into gear, started riding, and within about 2 to 3 seconds, Whimsy had settled down, she stopped squirming, and she's looking around and she's engaged in what's happening. And each time after that, it got simpler and simpler. After 3 to 4 starts and stops, she now understood what was happening. Now, the other thing that we like to say is make sure that when it's time for that first ride, you're going to pick a scent-rich destination, an SRD, right? Go someplace that your dog is going to love, because not only are they going to associate riding with all of the positive stimuli of the sights, sounds, and smells of riding, but they also understand that it's going to take them someplace that they want to go. And so that's a double positive for them that they're going to associate with riding, right? It's probably not the moment to get them into their cockpit so you can take them to the vet or to the groomer if that's not their thing, right? So go someplace exciting. Now, another thing to consider that we often recommend is once you've done that first ride and it's been successful and your dog has associated the positivity of this experience and the destination, now let your dog dismount, maybe, leash them outside there and go ride off without them. That will also help them make the association that if I leap up and get in the cockpit, I'm going to get to go with. And if I choose not to do that, then that also means staying at home. Dogs are quite smart in those regards. Our Whimsy is often found sitting next to the bike, waiting to leap up. She knows when our jackets start coming on, when our boots start coming on, it's time to ride. And as much as she loves riding, she also loves not being left behind. Those are two positive things that get associated with this activity, and it makes this a just fantastic activity for all of us. So positive reinforcement, lots of treats, lots of rewards, whatever that high value reward is for your dog. And also make sure that you are comfortable and confident with what this is before your dog gets into the scene, right? So that they're looking to you, and rather than you looking and kind of what's going to happen, what do you think? Hey, what are we going to do? You are projecting that positivity and leading them through this process with confidence and excitement, and that's going to yield fantastic results, probably a lot faster than you think.